Okay. We have packed all of our bags. We are officially docked in Port Canaveral and the sun is shining outside. And sadly, it's time to say goodbye to Carnival Glory. It was a few days worth of fun and excitement. In fact, a few days of awesome new things and excitement. Now over there you can see the windows of the restaurant and the table that's right next to the mirror. Just because we're docked does not mean our adventure is over yet. It's time for one last breakfast on the Carnival Glory. Now that we had the last breakfast, hey, we're back in the room, but only for a brief period before we have to go. Well, as I said, after a few days, we successfully made it through the glory. Because that's the good part, the happy part. And now, here comes the tough part, leaving the glory. Just because we're packed and we're getting ready to leave doesn't mean our adventure's over yet. Because it's time for one last walkthrough of the restaurant. We are out of the glory after a few days. Our trip was a success. Operation First Cruise Ever, success. Operation Atlantis, success. Alright, we're on the bus, and here's a view of the roads. We're off the bus at last. Alright, we are now starting the drive. So, we are at the Kennedy Space Center, which is a new place for me. And you know what this reminds me of? Epcot at Walt Disney World. So, let's take a look around. Here we have a map of the Space Center right there. First up, Heroes and Legends. Alright, here we have the rocket and the shaded waiting area. This is the pre-show area. You can see a model of some rockets as well as a mural of all the different people. Look at all of these nice people. Here's the screen, and there's some more nice people. Or astronauts. Is that how we should see it? This is the balcony of the entire exhibit containing the rocket. A hero is inspired, passionate, and curious, tenacious, disciplined, and confident as well. Here's the mission control area. Wonder if they're doing any missions today. Now here's an effect of astronauts working on the spaceship. Pretty cool, huh? Here we have a little space capsule. Here we have the Armed Forces outfit. And the prize and exit for an entrance. Entering the Hall of Fame, marked by this big statue right there. Here we have all the astronauts on this. So we just exited the Heroes and Legends building, and my thoughts, it was a unique attraction. It started off with a pre-show, then it included a stand-up theater, and it even included a museum space at the end. It was lots of fun. This kind of reminded me of Mission Space at Epcot. And, yeah. Here we have a little splash pad, which is also fountain, just in case. Up next, Gateway. Yeah. Going up this ramp, and we're headed to the second floor. Now here we have a projection of the solar system. You can see all the different planets. Got a ride inside the museum. Pretty cool, huh? Here we have the load area for the ride, aka one of the 3 rides found in the Kennedy Space Center. Welcome back to Earth, everybody. Let's follow the arrows then. Yeah, here's the portraits. Such a unique ride, isn't it? Here we have the main exit of this pavilion. Alright, we have Universe Theater next. Alright, so we just finished the show, and the thoughts are, it was a unique show. It was similar to Science Museum Oklahoma's Science Live. And that was one of the shows that I used to watch as a kid. It was my childhood show. No, not the show we just saw, Science Live. Up next, astronaut training experience. But first, let's do thoughts on the first ride we went on. The ride that we went on was similar to Soarin', and it was what happens if you combine Flight of Passage, Soarin', and Mission Space all into one ride. And yeah, here we go. Actually, not this one. It's not available. We got the Mars rover. And this is what it looks like. We got bus tours and we got the space shop. Now it's time for the bus tour. Now we have an arch leading you into the next pavilion. Now we have a mural of that rocket in the sunset. We just watched the pre-show and now we're headed into the exhibit center. Here's another cool thing in this museum. And plus, we have the fog waterfall. No Lucifer, no Blackbeard, or no Davy Jones, just the space icon. Here's all the Apollos that they have. And inside, there's the people that are in this ship. We finished the Apollo show, and boy, was that similar to American Adventure. But it only had a satellite, an astronaut, and a flag. No others. But it was a pretty unique show, huh? Alright, getting back on the bus. Here we have the enormous rocket that is the entranceway to one of the many, or should I say, the next pavilion. Remember, the adventure has only begun, and we have dreamed big. And now, Space Shuttle Atlantis. But before we continue, we now turn to me for my thoughts. That's right, my thoughts. So we're now in the Atlantis Pavilion, and my thoughts on this place, it looked amazing. There were space-themed pavilions, and a few rides. And one new simulator ride that I haven't been before. This place looks amazing. Here we have the Atlantis hanging from the ceiling. Look at that rocket, that space shuttle right there. Up next, we have the ISS. And here's the Japan flag. Just a heads up, there's actually a fun slide here. There is another simulator ride. We
also got a starfield to end the shuttle launch experience, which of course reminds me of Star Tours at Disney World.
We got the giant satellite right here to end the attraction, along with this fan and the main exit to this pavilion. So we just exited this pavilion and it included an attraction similar to Star Tours. And my thoughts? It was pretty cool. We got this big water globe showing you all the different kinds of planets and stars in space. And here's the bottom of it. Last stop, Journey to Mars. Here's the inside of Journey to Mars. We got the big projector screens, we got the space rovers, and yeah.
We also got the spinning satellite, the NASA shop, Orbit Cafe, Planet Play, and the IMAX Theater. We also got a mural of the International Space Station as well as all the flags of various countries. We also get one last look of that rocket garden as well as the rocket napper, the fan-made name for the rocket laying on its side. We also have Space Capsule.
Just a heads up, they also have Starbucks. And that concludes my trip to Kennedy Space Center. My thoughts? I really like it. It was cool and unique, and it reminds me of Epcot in Walt Disney World. And I got to ride 3 new rides, such as a simulator ride, which reminds me of soaring, a bus ride to a different place, and a simulator ride that reminds me of Star Tours. There was even a show that looked similar to the American Adventure over at Epcot, except it was moon-themed and included very little set pieces. And yeah, so without further ado, time to get on out of here. All right, we're in Orlando. And that concludes this vlog. If you enjoyed the vlog, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Until next time, goodbye. Oh, and remember, have an N-A-N awesome day.